guys, my name is David. Today I have a cigar review for you, and the cigar which I will be reviewing is the newly released Drew Estate Kentucky Fired Sweets. So I'm actually just now taking this out of its wrapper. This is, for those of you who are wondering, this is the Fat Molly, which is their equivalent of a Robusto. It is measured at 5 by 56. So I'm going to take this out here. That in my pocket. It's a little windy out here today, so I'm trying to kind of keep my notes straight and all that. So this is the Fat Molly. So very, very nice. It's got a very smooth, very creamy texture on the wrapper, which looks great. Construction looks really good. It's got a nice firm feel to it, but it's got a little bit of give in it, which is what I look for in a cigar. So overall, I think this is going to be pretty nice. Very understated wrapper, which goes with the whole Kentucky Fired theme that they're going for. It's a very country, rustic cigar. Whoa! This is the danger of working outdoors. So overall, I think it looks nice. The color is kind of a nice medium brown. You can see some of the seam work from where the wrapper was put on, but it's not terribly noticeable, which is nice. Now, this is from Drew Estate. Where did my sheet go? This one. It is from Drew Estate. This is the Fat Molly. Again, this is a blend of Kentucky Fired cured Nicaraguan and Brazilian Modafina with a San Andreas Maduro wrapper. These go from between $6 to $8 per cigar, just depending on what your local taxes are, and between $60 to $80 for a pack of 10, which is the only way they come. They don't come in a box. It's just like butcher paper wrapper, pack of 10. Now, the reason I got interested in this cigar in particular is everything I have heard about it is that it's got notes of barbecue and smoked meat and everything, and I'm from Texas, so tell me that there's barbecue involved, I'm there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut and get it toasting. Nice easy cut. Well, Shaggy, I'm gonna just kind of trim that up just a little bit. There we go. Get some of that loose bits off of there. Right away, on the dry draw, it's got a very smoky flavor. I would compare it to like a Latakia. So I think it has a very similar kind of vibe to it. It's got that smoky, delicious vibe to it. Now the cap is sweetened, just so y'all know that this is the Kentucky Fire Cured Sweet, not the original Kentucky Fire Cured, which I've also heard is a very good cigar. But I tend to like sweeter cigars. Part of that is because I'm a pipe smoker, so we'll see. But let me go ahead and get this toasted. Go. By the way, if you're wondering, I'm using my Firebird triple flame lighter today so that I can counteract some of the wind that I'm experiencing. So let's go ahead and get a light. Ooh. Now that's nice. That's really nice. See if I can work my way through describing the flavor. On first light, it's very mild. I was expecting something a whole lot harsher for having a Maduro wrapper. That's really smooth. As you can see, it's putting out a good amount of smoke, which is very nice. I always look for that in a cigar. Not as much in a pipe tobacco, just because, you know, what I'm looking for there is flavor. I don't, you know, if I'm getting too much smoke out of a pipe, it means I'm puffing too quickly. And that gets to be pretty bad, because it means that I'm not keeping a proper cadence, which means I'm burning rather than smoldering. This is very nice. I'm still picking little loose bits of the wrapper out of my teeth. And part of that is just my cutter is not the sharpest right now, so. Yeah, this is nice. That sweet cap really helps to balance out the smokiness, and it really does have kind of a, not quite a barbecue sauce flavor, and I'm going to say yet, because I'm still expecting that to develop. So, and I'm hoping to keep my partly cloudy day, at least for the duration of the video. So, I'm going to keep smoking this, and I will come back to you once I'm done through the first third, heading into the second third, and we will have an update. Alrighty guys, I'm pretty far into what I'm going to be calling the first third, and I just want you all to see it's got this beautiful kind of salt and pepper white ash that's going. You can see the burn is pretty clean all the way around. There is just a little bit of waving, which I expect, but it's fairly consistent all the way around. The ash is super strong. I'm at about an inch now, and it's holding on for dear life. I can move it around and really not have any trouble, or I don't feel like it's going to drop. I don't feel edgy about it, which is really nice. As for how the flavor is developing, so like I said, right off the bat, it was pretty smoky, pretty sweet, and I was noting that it was pretty mild for a Maduro cigar, and especially with the dark-fired Kentucky in it. That flavor intensity has increased a fair bit. I would give this, instead of like a 2 out of 5, this is probably upwards of a 4 now. The taste is very, very nice. I was trying to kind of figure out what it is that this reminds me of, and what it reminds me of, I think, most is like a campfire. Because what I'm getting a lot of is sweet hardwood smoke. So things like mesquite or hickory, that's kind of the flavors that I'm getting. And the other thing that I kind of thought of as I was smoking this is, this is the kind of cigar I would like to have if I'm like outside barbecuing or smoking a brisket or something. This is something that I could definitely see myself enjoying while I'm doing that. And I know it's kind of a, excuse me, I know it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, this idea of pairing food and cigars, because normally you wouldn't eat while you're smoking. However, I will say, I feel like this would go really, really well with barbecued chicken, or potentially barbecued pork, and like a smoked pork. And the reason I say that is, this to me has some of the same flavor components that you would get when you get char on barbecued chicken or pork, if you have it out on the grill using either gas or charcoal, with some wood chips in there. And when you pull a barbecued chicken off, you're basting it every so often with new coats of barbecue sauce, and when you pull it out, eventually you have all of this black char all over it. As a barbecue fanatic, those are really the best parts of barbecue, are those little crispy bits. And this is reminding me of that flavor, which is really, really nice. And I completely agree with the description that Drew Estate gives on their website, that this is, you know, a barbecue sauce kind of flavor. And it's funny because I just had barbecue yesterday for lunch. You know, you don't think of, you know, when you hear barbecue sauce, you think of like straight out of the bottle or straight out of the mixing bowl, however you decide to do it. I'm pure make it at home, unless I'm really in a hurry or really desperate. But I was thinking when they said, oh, it's like barbecue sauce, I was thinking that it would be like, yeah, tasting it straight out of the mixing bowl, and it is absolutely not like that. This is definitely, you know, smoked, cooked barbecue sauce flavor. Yeah, you're still getting the sweet from the sweet cap, although part of me is now thinking about this, going back, I almost wish I had used a punch cutter because it is a sweetened cap. That way I prolong the sweetness as long as possible through the rest of the cigar. So I'm kind of regretting that, but the cut is fine. I just know when I was reviewing, what was it, the Insidious by Asylum, which I don't think that video ever actually made it onto the channel, and that's because I was having issues with my microphone and issues with my camera that day, and nothing was cooperating, and I haven't gone back and bought another Robusto of that. But the Insidious by Asylum is another sweet cap cigar, and I always notice that unless I use a punch cut, the sweetness subsides going into the final third, and you don't get it. You don't get the benefit of it as you're finishing off the stick. So, well, there went my ash all over my lap. So, be careful. That's unfortunate. Well, that's okay. It was pretty much about an inch and a quarter by the time that it just dropped right now. So I'd say it's pretty good. The draw is nice and open, but it does have kind of a pull to it, sort of like sipping soda through a straw, which is what I like being a pipe smoker. So that's all I've really got for you for this third. I'll come back to you as I get into the second third and let you know how the flavor changes. All right, guys, we're into the second third now, and the flavor is definitely changing, which, I mean, I expect on larger cigars. Most of what I smoke are petite Coronas, just because I don't enjoy smoking for long periods of time. Although, well, no, that's not true. That being said, I enjoy it, but I like having a definite time that I'll be done with it unless I'm at a lounge. If I'm at a lounge, I don't mind smoking a Robusto or a Toro, although my preferred size is the Corona, honestly. Anyway, getting back to, I guess, what I was saying, the flavor is definitely changing. Some of what I expected to happen is happening as I'm continuing to go. I'm losing the sweet cap, and I can't tell if it's wearing out or I didn't use a punch cutter to cut this initially. I have had to make a few small corrections here and there, where, you know, like I'm doing right now, where not necessarily that it's in bad shape, but just to prevent any kind of major canoeing. Some of that is just I'm not rotating it nearly as much as I should, because I'm kind of zoning in and out as I'm smoking it, trying to focus on the flavor and not necessarily the technique. but it's still producing a fair amount of smoke. I'm going to go ahead and ash it now, just to get it over with, and go ahead and remove the band. Come on. There we go. Off in one piece. I like that. Set that under there. So the flavor's definitely evolving. It's more smoky. It's more peppery, which is nice. I guess about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Each of these thirds is taking about 15 minutes. This is about a 45-minute stick. But I guess about 10 minutes ago, mostly into the second third, I did hit kind of a natural sweet note, kind of a Maduro sweetness, as opposed to synthetic through the cap. And the sweetness that I hit sort of reminded me of cherry notes, but it was more like a cherry wood, as opposed to like a fruit cherry, which was very strange, but I really liked it. So, so far it's very, very pleasant. I really can't complain about the construction at all. I'm about a little bit more than halfway through the stick, and it's still fairly firm. You know, I can feel up towards the cherry. It's a little mushy, but I mean, that's every cigar. So, still got a good output, still a fairly tight, even burn, apart from the couple of corrections I've had to make, but I mean, I'm very happy with that. That doesn't really bother me at all. This is not like this is a high maintenance stick. So, yeah, overall very nice, and I will get back to you into the final third to give you one final update. Alrighty guys, I am into what I'm going to be calling the final third, and the flavor has once again changed, which I expected. The flavor that I'm getting now is, all the sweetness is gone. This is just pure smoky, hardwood, barbecue pit kind of flavor, but all the sweetness is completely gone from it. The pepper notes have significantly increased, but it's still very pleasant, still very enjoyable, but I'm definitely aware that this is the last third, just because of how the flavor is developing. And it's a nice end. You know, it started out very sweet and mild. Now at the finish, it's very bold and smoky. The flavor is now intensity up to a 5. And the flavor is still very pleasant. But it's definitely got some harsher notes to it, a lot more pepper. There's a little bit of bitterness, which I would expect towards the end of a darker cigar. So, overall, I'm going to give the Drew Estate Kentucky Fire Cured Sweets an A. I mean, this is just a very nice cigar. And if you're into very dark, kind of barbecue-y, smoky cigars, I really recommend it. Now, I haven't had the chance to try the non-sweet version of this cigar yet. I'm assuming it's very similar, apart from the sweetened cap. But, I mean, if this is your thing, if you're a Latakia smoker or you like dark cigars, I think you're going to really enjoy this. It's a nice change-up. Just to give you all some context, because I know I film at different times of the day, and that can change how cigars taste to everybody. I'm smoking this. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I started about 9 o'clock. So I'm going on 45 minutes to an hour with this cigar, and it varies depending on your pace. Excuse me. And I'm smoking this on an empty stomach. So probably not the best idea first thing in the morning. So I'm pairing it with a nice classic Coca-Cola to give me that sugar rush to keep the nicotine from hitting. Speaking of nicotine, I'm really not noticing a huge hit from this. At least not more than any other cigar that I've had. This is not going to, put you on your back with a nicotine kick. Now, I will say, this is me personally, I tend to get bigger nicotine hits from cigars than I do from pipes. And that's because the tobacco is directly in contact with my lips. So I absorb it through my lips as well. So I tend not to smoke cigars quite as much as pipes. And that's also part of why I prefer a Corona, less contact, less hit. But this has been really, really nice. The burn has been fairly consistent all the way through. Like I said earlier, I had to do a couple of touch-ups, but nothing terrible, nothing sinful about it, nothing just atrocious. The construction has stayed very good. It's only just now starting to get squishy up towards the head where I'm holding it. As the cherry continues to move further back, the ash is still nice and strong. So overall, yeah, I'm giving this an A. This is really, really nice. I don't know that I personally would go out and buy a box of them, but for the people who enjoy this cigar, I think you're really going to get your money's worth out of it. I think for the price point that you're paying, that $6 to $7 a stick, and between 60 and 70 for a 10-pack, I think you're really getting your money's worth out of this cigar. So props to Drew Estate. You really knocked it out of the park with this one. I think this is going to be maybe not one of my regulars, but certainly I'm going to work it into my rotation somehow. So other than that, guys, that's all I've got for you for the Drew Estate. I'm going to try and cover up my microphone with all this wind. That's all I've got for you with the Drew Estate Kentucky Fire Cured Sweets. I hope you've enjoyed this review. I know I have. If you've liked this review, please hit like. If you would like to see more of my reviews, please hit subscribe. And please do hit that notification button down next to the subscribe button. It looks like a little bell, and it will go off every time that I upload a new video. Other than that, guys, my name is David. This has been a Gentleman's Corner cigar review. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are and whenever you're watching this. And other than that, have a good one.